Hello everyone and welcome back to Agile Rank Mate, your partner in education. Today we're going to be starting off a new series based on the Central University's Entrance Test, or CUET. This is Cracking CUET. Now CUET is an examination conducted by the National Testing Agency which allows you to enter into many programs offered by central universities across India. Now, there are multiple subjects to the test. You can take economics if you're an economics major, the sciences if you're a science major, and so on. Today, we're going to be looking at the previous year questions of the General Aptitude test. We're going to be looking at how these questions are structured and how can we solve them effectively. So let's start off with our first question. A 5 centimeter long perpendicular is drawn from the center of a circle to a 24 centimeter long chord. You need to find the diameter of the circle. So, how do we solve this question? Well, let's first visualize it. So I have drawn a diagram here. So from the center O, a perpendicular OP is dropped to a chord AB. What we know is that OP equals 5 centimeters and AB equals 24 centimeters. These are the values given in the question. So, how do we start solving this? Well, for this to work, you would need to know the perpendicular bisector theorem of a chord. Now, what this theorem states is that any straight line passing through the center of a circle that is perpendicular to the chord, to any chord in the circle, becomes the perpendicular bisector of that chord. So in this particular circumstance, what that means is that chord OP, which is perpendicular to, the line OP that passes through the circle's center O, which is perpendicular to the chord AB, will act as the perpendicular bisector of the chord AB, which means the value of AP will be 24 divided by 2, that is 12 centimeters. Similarly, BP will also be equal to 12 centimeters. So if you have a perpendicular that's passing through the center of a circle and that touches a chord, it will definitely bisect the chord at right angles. Now, how does this help us? Well, we know that OP equals 5 centimeters. We know that AP equals 12 centimeters. All we need is the line OA, the line segment OA, which is also the radius of the circle. Now, this can be calculated easily by using the Pythagorean theorem. So using this theorem, which we all know, we would know that OA squared, the hypotenuse squared, is equal to the base squared plus the height squared. Now that means 5 squared plus 12 squared will equal R squared. Now, if you've learned your squares properly, you would know that 5 squared is 25 and 12 squared is 144. 4 plus 5 equals 9, 2 plus 4 equals 6, and 1 gets carried over. You get 169, which of course is equal to 13 squared. Now, since R squared is equal to 13 squared, that means the radius of the circle is equal to 13. But it does not end there. We need to find the diameter of the circle. And of course, since diameter is twice the radius, then that means the diameter of this circle will be equal to 13 times 2, which is equal to 26 centimeters. So option A, 26 centimeters, turns out to be the right option. If you understand the theorems of a circle, then that would help you out here. Basically, the theorem that we need to look at is the perpendicular bisector theorem of a chord. So any line that passes through the center of a circle that is perpendicular to a chord in the circle will act as the perpendicular bisector of that chord. And using that and the Pythagorean theorem, We found out the radius of the circle, and since diameter is twice the radius, we got our final answer, which is 26 centimeters. Let's look at another question. A pump can fill a tank with water in 2 hours. However, because of a leak, it took 2 hours and 20 minutes to fill out the tank. We need to find out how fast can the leak drain all the water inside the tank. Is it 14 hours, 12 hours, 10 hours, or 8 hours? So how do we solve this? So this question regarding filling a pump and draining a pump is eerily similar to the work done problems, like how much percentage of work has a person done, or how much people will be required to complete a given amount of work. So let's look at what's been given to us. So we know that the tank in question can be filled in 2 hours. Now that means the half of that tank can be filled in 1 hour, which is pretty simple to visualize. If the tank is completely filled in 2 hours, then in 1 hour, half of that tank will be filled. Let's find out similarly what the unit to fill the tank is for the combined rate. Now the combined rate is basically what happens if you fill the tank but there is a leak in the tank. So in the combined rate, one tank takes 2 hours and 20 minutes. Or if you look at it, it'll be 2 1/3 hours. Converting that into an improper fraction, you get 7/3 hours. And you need this much hours to fill one tank. So when we take the reciprocal, then that means 3/7 of the tank can be filled in 1 hour. Now we need to find out how fast can the leak drain a full tank. So in order to do that, we need to identify the leak rate. So we know the combined rate, we know the pump rate. So the leak rate is basically the pump rate minus the combined rate. Because if the pump worked alone, it would fill the tank in 2 hours. However, the combined rate is slower. It takes 7/3 hours, which is 2 hours and 20 minutes. So let's look at the rate. So in every hour, half the tank gets filled if the pump works alone. The combined rate for filling the tank per hour is 3/7. So basically we need to subtract 3/7 from 1/2. So finding the LCM to be 14, we will get 7 minus 6 in the numerator. So therefore the leak rate will be 1/14. So that means 1/14 tank in 1 hour. So when we take the reciprocal, it'll be 1 tank in 14 hours. So therefore option A, 14 hours, turns out to be the right option. So basically, if you are given certain values, like something can be filled in X hours, then the reciprocal of that would be basically the rate of filling per hour. So using that, we can find both the rate filled and the combined rate, and then the leak rate can be determined from there by simple subtraction. And then using the reciprocal again, we can find out what was the total hours taken for the tank to be empty, which in this case is 14 hours. So option A, 14 hours, turns out to be correct. Next question. The ratio of the supplementary and complementary angles of an angle is 3:1. You need to find the supplementary angle of the given angle. Supplementary is 180 minus a given angle. Complementary is 90 minus a given angle. Let's consider that to be x. The ratio is given as 3:1. You need to find 180 minus x. That's our value to be found. Again, when you have angles like this, it's a good idea to visualize it. So again, here's our visualization. This is our angle x, and the complementary angle in this case will be 90 minus x over here. The supplementary angle in this case will be 180 minus x, which will also include the complementary angle, that is 90 minus x. So what we know is that 180 minus x divided by 90 minus x is equal to 3/1, because that's the ratio that has been given to us. So that means 180 minus x is equal to 3 times 90 minus x. So working on the right hand side, that will be 270 minus 3x. Let's take the x's to one side and the values to the other. So therefore you get 3x minus x equals 270 minus 180. So left hand side gives you 2x, right hand side gives you 90, because 27 minus 18 gives you 9. So 2x equals 90, therefore x equals 45 degrees. So we know that the value of x is 45. We need to find 180 minus x. So 180 minus x is 180 minus 45, which in this case will be 135 degrees. So it turns out for this question, option D turns out to be the right option. Again, the best way to do this is to visualize it so you know what you're dealing with, and the ratio definitely gives you the right answer. So knowing that the ratio is 3:1 and using the standard form for both the supplementary and complementary angles, we can easily deduce what the given angle is, and then using that you can find the supplementary and complementary angles. So the question demanded the supplementary angle, which in this case is 135 degrees. Let's look at the next question. This is a question based on interest. So we have a given sum which becomes 5 times of itself in 8 years at simple interest. We need to find out what is the rate of interest per annum. So since we're talking about simple interest, the formula that we will be using is PRT upon 100, where P is the principal, R is the rate of interest, T is the time taken, and since the rate is usually expressed in percentages, the entire product is divided by 100. So that's the value of simple interest. Now what do we have? We have a principal, however it's not defined. So let's consider the principal as P. We have the time taken, that is 8 years. Now we know that the sum becomes 5 times of itself. So the final value is 5p. So principal plus interest equals 5p. Now that means we can calculate the simple interest as the final value minus the initial value, because it is simple interest and not compounding interest. So the value of simple interest is 5p minus v, which is equal to 4p. So the interest value is 4p. So what we need to find is R. R is the quantity that we need to find. So what we can do is plug in all the values to our equation. So simple interest is 4p equals, the principal is p, R we have to determine, t is 8 divided by 100. So since we need to find R, let's take it to one side. So R equals 4p times 100 divided by p times 8. So the p's get cancelled, 4 goes into 8 twice, 2 goes into 100 50 times, so therefore the rate of interest is 50%. So therefore the right answer for this question is option C, 50%. So again, the important thing is to understand what kind of interest are we dealing with. So in this case it's simple interest, so then we plug in this formula direct, and once you can decipher the value of simple interest, then you've got everything that you can use to be plugged in into the formula, and then after that you can find out the rate of interest, which in this case is 50%. The final question in this episode is this: how many years shall 3,500 invested at the rate of 10% simple interest per annum amount to 4,500 rupees? So we need to find the time taken. What we are given is the principal, which is 3,500. The rate of interest is 10%, and the final value is 4,500. So that means our simple interest will be final minus initial, so 4,500 minus 3,500, which is 1,000 rupees. So we know our value of simple interest, we know the principal, we know the rate of interest per annum. We need to find time. Again, the question says simple interest, so we're going to be using PRT upon 100. So the left hand side would be 1,000, the right hand side would be 3,500 multiplied by 10 multiplied by T divided by 100. So we need to find time. What we can do is keep time on one side and everything else on the other. So the numerator now becomes 1,000 times 100 divided by the numerator in this case, which is 3,500 times 10. So we've got a lot of zeros that we can cancel. So once we do that, so basically 10 goes into 100 10 times, so we have a 10 left. 10 goes into 3,500 350 times, and once we remove the 0 from the 1,000 and from 350, the final value you get for time is 100 divided by 35. Now both of these are divisible by 5, so let's use that. So 5 goes into 35 7 times, and 5 goes into 100 20 times. So the value of time is 20 upon 7 years. However, what we have as our answer is an improper fraction. However, the options given to us are in mixed numbers. Now if you notice, all of these have their whole number as 2. So therefore 20 upon 7 is basically 14 plus 6 upon 7. 14 divided by 7 is 2, so therefore our answer would be 2 6 upon 7. So the correct option is option C, 2 6 upon 7 years. And that concludes this particular episode. We hope you found this interesting and informative. For more of our useful and interesting content, don't forget to subscribe to Agile Rank Mate. Until the next episode, take care, stay alert, bye-bye for now.